our January 9th quick business meeting. It's 5 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Clerk, oh wait, we observed the beginning of the meeting with I thought we were doing this later, with an invocation, which we observed by a moment of silence. Thank you. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Bajent.
Here.
Halliburton.
Here.
Haney-Keith.
Here.
Nash.
Here.
Stead.
Here.
Willits.
Here.
All present.
And we have a request for approval of the minutes from December 19th.
Madam Mayor, I move approval of the City Council minutes for the regular day meeting on December 19th. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Bajent.
Yes.
Halliburton.
Yes.
Haney-Keith.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Thank you. All right, now we have the appointment of Mike Strasser to the Harris Ranch CID for a term that ends January 2028, and the reappointment of Scott Raber for the Parks Commission for a 3-year term ending January 2027. I do not see them. They're not able to be with us, but I appreciate both Scott's willingness to serve again and Mike's willingness to serve as the first community member representative on the CID board.
Madam Mayor, I'll do this in two separate motions. I ask for unanimous approval for the appointment of Mike Strasser to the Harris Ranch Community Infrastructure District Board for a term ending January 2028.
Without objection? All right, Mike, you are official. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I enjoyed the conversation that we had. Now, Scott.
And Madam Mayor, ask for unanimous approval of the reappointment of Scott Raber to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term ending January 2027.
Without objection. And another thanks to Scott as well.
And Madam Mayor, I might just make a quick comment there. I've had the opportunity to serve there with Scott for several years. I was hoping he'd be here tonight. Maybe he'll be here a little bit later. I know that there's some confusion with the order of business. But both of these are volunteer positions, and they're volunteer positions that aren't always the easiest ones to have. And that's maybe an understatement for one of those. So I really, really appreciate both of these individuals stepping up, serving our community in this incredible way. And I'll be seeing Mike Strasser there as well, because that'll be my first meeting coming up here pretty soon. And Madam Mayor, before the consent agenda, I move that we remove the scheduling of PUD 23-26 from the agenda as the item has been withdrawn, and that we change the requested hearing date of CAR 23-16 to February 13th, 2024. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Bajent.
Yes.
Halliburton.
Yes.
Haney-Keith.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
And now, Madam Mayor, I move approval of the consent agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussions? Clerk, will you call the roll?
Bajent.
Yes.
Halliburton.
Yes.
Haney-Keith.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, thank you. And now we're moving on to ordinances, and it looks like we've got one on third reading.
Madam Mayor, I move that further reading of ordinance 45-23 be dispensed with, and the record reflected has been read the third time in full. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Bajent.
Yes.
Halliburton.
Yes.
Haney-Keith.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
And,
ORD
sorry.
ORD-45-23, an ordinance describing the exterior boundaries and annexing, incorporating the remainder of properties on the Ustick Ditch Lateral into the Boise Municipal Irrigation System. Directing the Boise City Clerk to record a certified copy of this ordinance in the office of the Ada County Recorder and providing an effective date.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 45-23. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk?
Bajent.
Yes.
Halliburton.
Yes.
Haney-Keith.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
I jumped the gun there. I think that everyone's excited to kind of get the main event here started in a little bit. But Madam Mayor, I do have a point of personal privilege. Geez, it was probably 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Now we celebrated the last meeting of 2 of our council members, Council President Pro Tem Bajent and Council Member Haney-Keith. A little bit anticlimactic. It was at a noon meeting. Hardly anybody ever attends our noon meetings. And so there wasn't a lot of people here. And I just didn't feel comfortable with the 2 of you getting off the hook that easy. And coming to one more meeting without us saying something about it. And so I just want to take this opportunity to thank both of you one more time. I think it takes a lot of courage to run for city council. I think sometimes people, when they run, they don't know how hard the job's going to be. And then sometimes they do know how hard it's going to be, and they do it anyway. And I really appreciate you, Councilmember Haney Keith, for knowing the challenges that you were going to face, jumping in here during a really important time and doing it with honesty and integrity. And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm really feel lucky that I got to sit next to you as well. And I hope to continue to work with you going forward. I know council members will have some other things to say about both these people, but I'll just keep rolling. Councilmember Bajent, oh, and those flowers are for you. Councilmember Bajent, I did not want to have you leave council without you having something that says 2020 on it, and all the way through 2024. And I say that kind of joking, but I'm really not. You know, both you, myself, and the mayor jumped into city council on 2020, knowing that it was going to be a difficult job with a new administration, and there would be challenges ahead, and no idea how big of the challenges we truly were going to face. Something that I hope that another council never has to face again. And I'm just so thankful that you were here for every single one of those years, for those years in the beginning. Your leadership served our city well. Our city is a better place because you were here. And I want to thank you for that. And for me, from a personal level, it's been such an honor to serve next to you. I never expected that my friendship with you to grow as much as it did, and for me to really look up to you and appreciate you as much as I do. I really don't know anybody better. And you've made an impact on the city. You've made an impact on me. And I'm glad that you can hang that up next to all of your other accomplishments and remember this period of time in a time where you really stepped up when our city needed. Thank you.
We'll go by seniority.
Oh, okay. I know this feels like a long goodbye, but I'm really glad that I have an opportunity to just tell you publicly thank you. When I got elected, my husband said, you know, this is going to be an experience of a lifetime in a number of different reasons, but he says you're going to meet really neat people that you would never have the opportunity to have met otherwise and forge these wonderful bonds. And that has proven true. And I remember President Wooding saying after I got elected, she said, congratulations, but also thank you because you will never have another Tuesday night free. And I was like, well, yeah, I kind of know that, but I didn't really know that because it is so encompassing. So I have something for each of you, and then I will say some things that I'd like to say. So there are lots of things you can do on Tuesdays, but the most economical thing to do on Tuesdays is $5 movies. So you each have a gift card for some $5 movies. I would offer to babysit Patrick, but it's on Tuesdays. So that will not work. So Patrick, since you're closer right here, thank you. Thank you for just your goodness and your kindness and just being the kind of person that wants the best to happen. And it's so rare to have that sort of goodness elude itself all the time and exude itself, I should say. And I know the city's better, but I am a better person because I got to know you and your sweet wife. She's dynamite. But I would have never gotten that chance. I would have read your bio on the website. I would have made some inferences about going to Berkeley and and would have totally misjudged you. So I'm glad that I had the chance to work with you and to learn just the kind of human that you are and the goodness that you bring to the city. And you have changed. You have changed how I think, and you've changed experience on this council for me. So thank you. LaTonya, we haven't had a chance to work very long, but there are so many things that I've appreciated about you. Your grace, your grit. Every time you ask a question, I think, oh, I wish I could ask it that way. And just the way that you show issues so clearly is really a marvel. And once again, a blessing that I got the opportunity to work with you, because I would have never gotten this opportunity otherwise. So I look forward to actually having more time off council with you off council to us get to know each other, because I know that you have a lot to give and you have a lot to teach me. And I'm really excited to see that friendship continue and to learn and continue to grow from being around you. So thank you. So here's your movies. Take one, pass it down, and enjoy some Tuesday movies for $5.
Madam Mayor, if I could, so some of you know it's been brought up a couple times that Latanya was actually my dean at my law school when I graduated, and we had a really tight knit community over at Concordia, and it's not there anymore. But I hope that you see its fruits, and in the people that you gave opportunities to, including myself. And I couldn't have been prouder to serve with anybody else when we got appointed earlier last year, and then I have been with you. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you've given me. And you played a huge role in that. And then Patrick, I'm going to miss you both, by the way, because I think we're going from 3 lawyers to 1 on council. And some people might like that. There's probably some good jokes in there somewhere, but coming to council, know that 2 other people are going to know what the standard of review is always very reassuring, and allows me to play a little more fast and loose. And I won't have that privilege anymore. So both of you, I will miss you. But Patrick, you've been my Sherpa here. I was proud to support you for leadership this summer, and there's going to be a huge hole in council, and a lot of us are going to have to pick up that work the best we can, but knowing that you are irreplaceable. But thank you for your years of service here.
Madam Mayor, I will be brief. I have only overlapped for the last several months, but first, Latanya, you were my guiding light on what it's like to serve on council with a full-time job. And I think I maybe didn't take all your advice, because I think part of it was when I said, is this something that's manageable? You said I might not have been able to do it if there wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel. But here we are, and I appreciate the guidance that you've had. And I think Lucy hit it on the head by saying that you serve with grace and compassion, and you've been a guiding light for me on the thoughtful questions that you ask, and the kindness that you bring to the dais, and we will miss that. And Patrick and I have known each other for several years now. We first went through Leadership Boise together, I think, in 2017. And your integrity and your intelligence will, as Colin said, will leave a hole on council. And you have been a huge resource to me as I've navigated through this. And I look forward to leaning on you both as we continue through with the experience that you've had. Thank you so much for your service, and especially through those 2020 years. Yeah, thanks, Patrick.
Madam Mayor, I will be brief. I said this a couple of weeks ago that I was surprised I got choked up, and I got choked up again, and especially looking at Colin and thinking all the amazing things that have happened over the last several years. I just wanted to say that it's such an honor to have been a part of this council for the last several months, and I said this maybe in front of a different audience previously, but the opportunity to work with this caliber of individuals who really care about the city and bring their absolute best every single day to make this such an amazing place, I think is just something that I will very much miss and feel such a privilege of being a part of. And it's I think when you think about things that you do, whether it's work, whether it's volunteer activities, it's the people that you're with that really make that experience. And for me, this has been such an amazing group of individuals to get to know. Each one of the people up here have shaped me and continue to challenge me, which I think is something that I've always strive for, is to be challenged and to want to think differently. each one of us bring a different perspective to the work we do here. And I think it just forges such an amazing city. So I'm just so honored. I'm so privileged to have been part of this. And I thank you all for being here today as we look forward to the future for Boise. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel the same way. I mean, you can thank me for what has been my privilege and honor and growing and learning experience. And that seems strange because I'm the one, I'm sure, with the most gratitude to all of you. I was thinking about something sort of strange, which is that there's a group of people who make our city government run, and we never talk about because it's weird to talk about them. I can talk about them because I'm leaving. I want to thank, in addition to all my beautiful colleagues and the city staff that make this place go, all of the young journalists that I've met in the last 4 years. They're not paid very well. They work so hard to learn about how our government works, about how our society works, about what the people need to know, and they work hard to report it so that people understand what's going on. We can't thank them for doing a good job because it looks weird. We can't criticize them for doing a bad job because that's oppressive and weird. But hey, I'm leaving, and so I can thank them. It's a true service. It's as much a public service as showing up to testify at a public meeting, running for office. It's part of what makes the whole system work. And so to each of those very, very young people who I see trying so, so hard, you can tell Don Day I'm not thanking him because he's not young. I'm so inspired and impressed. He's going off to write some checks to his employees. But I do mean it. They're impressive young people. They're not supported enough and publicly by the people that they're reporting on. And so I wanted to thank each of them when I had this brief opportunity to do so. We have a couple of other people being sworn in later tonight. They're stepping up to serve their community. I'm looking forward to celebrating them with you. And are we adjourning?
We are not adjourned, but we are going to recess. And I want to say first that Boise Phil, is it the youth or, yes, okay, I didn't want to call you youth if it was a different name. The Boise Phil Youth Orchestra is with us tonight. I really appreciate you being here. So they're going to be playing music until we start again at 6. We're going to recess. Then we'll have the swearing in ceremony followed by a reception. Thanks everybody who came early to be part of this. And we'll see you soon. Well, we'll see you in a minute as soon as we get off of here. But yeah, we'll be back at 6. Thanks.